Hey girly. Hey guys. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm so excited you guys could join me today. Hopefully you guys are getting ready for hanging out in your living room later today, later tonight. So I'm excited because we actually have a special guest joining us. Ben Fuchs will be joining us in just a minute, so we'll give him a little time to join, but I did want to let you guys know whatever questions you have for him. Please make sure you, thank you, you put them in so that we can make sure we get, we can make sure that we get them answered. Yay! So yeah, we're going to be talking about the new mask today. Actually, some new ingredients in some of his already formulated products. We're going to be talking a little bit about microneedling. And whatever questions you guys have, we'll go over them.
Leah!
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Nice to see you. You look radiant and smashing as always.
It's the lights. I got like a bunch of them, so it's fine.
I don't think so.
Gotta make sure you have all the studio lighting.
I don't have lighting.
You're missing out. You gotta get the glow going. Yeah, you glow already, so it's fine. So how are you? What are you doing tonight?
I'm great. Nothing. Chilling.
Oh,
I'm
good.
too old to do anything.
Same. Yeah, I've already started. So you guys, just so you know, I am going to have champagne tonight at home, and I am such a lightweight now that I already texted Ben earlier and was like, how do I cure my hangover that I already know I'm having? And if you guys didn't know, the Blemish complex, you have to get it anytime you drink, right?
Well, Blemish Repair Complex is actually a liver nutrient, liver supplement. It's got liver nutrients in it. That's the secret to dealing with acne and really all skin health issues. Is you want to work on the liver first, liver and the digestive system first. So selenium, N-acetylcysteine, vitamin A, the nutrients in Blemish Repair Complex are specific for the liver. And of course, the liver is what bears the brunt of our of the too much fun we may be having on New Year's Eve and on other eves as well. And
on Wednesday afternoons.
Yeah, even if you don't, I was going to say, even if it's not just a celebratory if it's not celebratory alcohol that you're drinking, if it's just like wine at night, protect your liver. Use Blemish Repair Complex, but also use other things too. You know, there's if you're not just going out and indulging and going crazy, even if you're just drinking a little bit, it's always good to protect your liver. You know, and as it turns out, by the way, a little bit of alcohol is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, it's great for your heart.
Right, it's good for your heart. It's good for your mood. It's good for your parasympathetic nervous system. A little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, like 2 glasses.
No, like 1 glass.
Okay, I'll work on that for the new year. Perfect. Yeah, so I always tell everybody whether, you know, I feel like the name of the product can be a little misleading because whether you're acne prone or not, like such a fantastic supplement to be on.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, the next question, of course, I want to hear about the new mask.
Yes.
And I just asked everybody. I am going to tonight. This one's mine. I know I should have already, but it's been a little wild around here. So no, using it tonight for the first time.
So let's tell you about the mask. First of all, it's a soothing mask, especially after microneedling, after a peel, after sunburn. If your skin is just irritated, if you've overexfoliated, if you've used your retinol a little bit too much, it's super, super soothing. It's very, very generous. There's lots of good stuff in it, and it's saturated. It's super saturated, so it doesn't dry out. It stays on your face. It molds to your face really well. The key ingredient, like with a lot of my products, is the minerals. And I call them minerals, but they're really not minerals. You know, minerals are rocks. You don't have any rocks in skincare. So when people talk about minerals in skincare, it's kind of a misnomer because there's no minerals in skincare with the exception of sunblocks. Like zinc is a mineral, is a real mineral when it's in sun protection products. But ordinarily, when you hear about minerals in skincare, what you're hearing about is electrolytes. And that's why we call it electrolyte mask. Electrolytes are minerals that dissolve in water. Minerals don't dissolve in water typically, right? You take rocks, you put it in water, it's going to sink. They're going to sink to the bottom. But minerals that dissolve in water have a whole different, have different properties than just minerals. Minerals don't really do anything; they just sit there.
Right.
But when a mineral has a certain characteristic, which is really kind of incredible, I'll tell you about that in a second. But it has a certain characteristic that allows it to dissolve in water. It goes from being just inert, that is not doing anything, to being electrical. And that electrical energy is the secret. What you're actually doing is you're amping up voltage in a microscopic way, in a micro voltage way, but you're amping up the voltage of the skin, and that improves healing, and that improves cell function, and that improves the overall texture and quality of the skin. And so just the electrolytes alone, the water-soluble minerals alone, are going to have tremendous benefits. And that's how the biomimetic mineral mist works.
Right.
It's really the same active ingredient as in the biomimetic mineral mist, but it's staying on the skin. You're driving it into the skin with the mask. So it's essentially like the biomimetic mineral mist, but it's because it's in a mask form, it gets driven deep into the stratum corneum, relatively deep, much deeper than with the regular spray. So,
awesome.
So the question is, how does a mineral, which is inert, a rock, it doesn't do anything, get turned into this active ingredient, this electrolyte? Is a really cool story, and I've told you before. There are bacteria that live on the surface of the rock that we call the planet Earth, and they have an ability to eat the rock. They're actually called lithotropes, which means stone eaters. And these lithotropic bacteria, these stone-eating bacteria, digest the rocks and secrete out electrolytes. And under ordinary circumstances, this is how the soil gets its richness. This is how the soil has the ability to grow plants. What's more is these electrolytes, these magically transformed minerals, these that have been turned into electrolytes via lithotropes, not only enrich the soil, and farmers and gardeners know that if they sprinkle these electrolytic minerals on their soil, they get better plants, but they also have an ability to go into plants, and they open up plant cells, and they dump in their payload. They dump in the electrolytes into cells. And this is why I use them in skincare. Because that same effect that you get with plants, that same property that they have for opening up plant cells and delivering nutrients into cells, it happens on your skin too. So they make perfect, number one, nutritional ingredients for skin cells. So your skin cells get the benefits of potassium and magnesium and sulfur and selenium and zinc and all of these other elements. But also, and this is super cool, the electrolytes have a magnetic property that magnetically pull other things in. So they act as delivery support systems for the other ingredients that you're using. So that's why we always recommend that the biomimetic mineral mist be used with your vitamin C products, with your transdermal C serum, with your transdermal C balm, with your retinol, with your other active ingredients, because just like they improve delivery of the minerals into the elements into plant cells, they'll improve delivery of vitamin C, improve delivery of retinol, improve delivery of other active ingredients, high hyaluronic acid, glycogen, etc. So number one, they act as nutritional support themselves, and number two, they act as transdermal delivery support for other active ingredients. So they're really, it's important, and it's a really interesting and fascinating active ingredient. And those are the main ingredients in the mask. But then we put other things in there as well. There's something called glycogen, which I just mentioned. Glycogen is a cell energizer. Glycogen is a long chain of glucose. Glucose is sugar. And cells are fed with these long chains of glycogen. They function as energizers for cells. So you get delivery of glycogen into cells. We also put something in there called sodium lactate, which is part of the skin's natural moisture factor. We put sodium PCA in there, which is part of the skin's natural moisture factor. There's amino acids in there as well. There's high hyaluronic acid, one of my favorite skincare ingredients. And there's glycerin as well. So all of the ingredients in that mask have one thing in common. They're in your skin anyway. They're part of your skin's natural environment, and they're part of the skin's natural moisture factor. So when you put it on, you're essentially putting stuff on your skin that's already in your skin. You're topping off your tank, if you will. And this is particularly important if your skin is suffering from some kind of abrasion or wounding or irritation. That's what makes it so soothing. You're upregulating the skin's natural soothing chemicals. You're topping off the tank, if you will, of your skin's natural repository of healing and soothing molecules.
Cool.
And it feels really, really good on your skin.
Yeah.
Do it if you just let me say this. If you're taking a bath, put it on before you go into your bath and let it sit. Let it sit while you take your bath, and then come out and take it off. It feels amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do then. Well, and what I love about your products, it's funny because there's gosh, I don't even know how many skincare brands out there, right? Like a billion. And every year, I don't know if it's like New Beauty or somebody says like the new ingredient of the year. But what I love about your products is that you always have the most interesting ingredients, and like your products take a lot of education because they're so different, but they're so good for the skin. And one of those newer ingredients, I don't even know, you may have already put this out, but you guys had sent me the Vitamask with melatonin in it, and I was like, melatonin, like I've been taking that to sleep, but what made you put melatonin into the Vitamask? Like, can you tell us like what that thought process was and what it does for the skin, because that's definitely new.
So well, a couple things. First of all, I love ingredients that are already in your body. To me, I'm a lover of the human body. I've been studying the human body for 35 years. I love the skin in particular. My specialty is the skin, but I'm a pharmacist and I talk about nutrition, and I have a radio show. You probably know I have a radio program where I just talk about health, and a lot of people don't even know I'm in the skin business. You know, a lot of people just know me as a healthcare professional. When I do guest appearances on radio programs or on my radio program, I just talk about general health. I love the way the body works. And so how does the body work? Well, it works via cells. That's the major, those are the living components in the body, but the cells are always responsive to chemicals, molecules, if you will. And I want to know, what I'm fascinated with is, what are the molecules that make the body what it is? What are the molecules that make the cells move? What are the molecules that make the cells grow? So all of the ingredients that you'll see that I use are all found in the body. People sometimes will ask me, oh, are your products natural? And you hear this word natural, right? Oh, our products are all natural. And people will write me notes. Are your products natural? Do you formulate natural? And, you know, to chemists, I hate that word because that's such a meaningless word. Well, like, what's natural? If it's in nature, it's natural. You say, oh, you know, is honey natural? Well, a bee has to make it. It doesn't just appear. Does that mean it's natural? Or maybe it's synthetic because a bee makes it. So there's all this confusion around natural. Poison ivy's natural. Cow manure is natural. You're not going to rub poison ivy or cow manure on your hair or on your skin. So what if it's natural? Natural doesn't really mean anything. But what really is relevant to me is, does your body recognize it? Does it have a role to play in cell chemistry? Does it have a role to play in biochemistry? So I made up a word because I wanted to describe this phenomena of being found in the body. I call it biogenic. Biogenic means biology. Genic, genesis, found in biology. Has its genesis in biology. This is a biogenic ingredient. Is an ingredient that's in you. And this is a way of respecting you. What I like to think about truth treatments is, I'm respecting you. I'm respecting your skin. I'm respecting yourselves. I don't mean me, my formulations, and me too. It's really a question of respect. It's a question of honor. So all of our ingredients, the ingredients I formulate with, are already in your skin. Hyaluronic acid and amino acids and glycogen, of course, vitamin C and retinol and elements off of the periodic table. All of this is already in your skin. So number one, you get benefits because it's already there, and presumably it's there for a reason. And number two, you get non-toxicity and non-allergenicity. And coming at the world, thinking of the body as from a pharmacist perspective, I'm always looking for things that are going to do something without hurting you. You know, the drug world is filled with substances that work. Obviously, they work, but they're toxic. They're deadly. In fact, some of the deadliest things you could ever put in your body are medications. So to a pharmacist, we're always looking at what we call the therapeutic index. And the therapeutic index is the ratio of effect to toxicity. And a good drug is going to have a high therapeutic index. That means it's going to have a high effect, low toxicity. To me, the most ideal substances with the highest therapeutic index are going to be things that are already in you. Because they're in you, they're not going to be toxic. There's a reason that they're in you, and they're in you, they're doing something, so they're going to be therapeutically valuable. They're going to have a high therapeutic index. So I'm always looking for ingredients that I can use in my products that are already in the system. All the cells are already responsive to. So that's why I use vitamin C and retinol and glycogen, etc. Well, melatonin is one of the most underappreciated molecules in your body. Everybody knows it for sleep, not everybody, but a lot of people recognize it as a sleep aid, but it is so much more than a sleep aid. Do you know that when Donald Trump got COVID a few months ago, one of the major substances in his protocol was melatonin? Melatonin is anti-COVID. Melatonin boosts, that's right, it's protective against COVID. It's protective against all viral infections. It bumps up the immune system. Do you know melatonin is one of the best things you can take for heartburn? High doses of
No.
melatonin.
No, I
Melatonin.
just started taking some gummies, so I'm pretty
What
excited
kind of-
about that then.
All right. Well, gummies, I think you're talking about CBD or THC gummies.
Oh, no, melatonin gummies.
Oh, melatonin. Okay.
Well,
All right. Well, I'm in
it's
Colorado.
going off in another direction.
No, I'm in Colorado. That's what that's what I think of when I think of gummies.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So melatonin is good for the digestive system. Melatonin activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our health challenges are due to the fact that we're amped up, we're stressed out. Body has two ways of responding to the world. It responds to the world as if there's a tiger at your door,
Mm-hmm.
or it responds to the world as if all is right. Tiger at the door is it activates a part of your nervous system called the sympathetic nervous system. Have you heard of this?
No. Mm-mm.
The sympathetic nervous system is called your fight or flight nervous system.
That I've heard.
Right? Fight or flight, right? So fight or flight turns down immunity. Fight or flight slows down your thyroid. Fight or flight slows down your digestive system. Fight or flight keeps you from growing and repairing. Fight or flight thins your skin and causes wrinkles and causes dark spots and causes oily skin. Fight or flight causes inflammatory diseases. Fight or flight is a big problem. Of course, it's important because if there's a tiger at your door, you got to fight or flee.
Mm-hmm.
But in the long run, fight or flight will suppress health. On the
Mm-hmm.
other side of the equation, when life is good, when there's no lion or tiger at the door, your body activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
If the sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest nervous system. This is where all the fun stuff is. The parasympathetic nervous system activates the digestive system. The parasympathetic nervous system gives you strong immunity. The
Mm-hmm.
parasympathetic nervous system makes your thyroid work well. The parasympathetic nervous system makes you improve sexuality and sexual functioning. The parasympathetic nervous system is for all of the good things in life. And the more you can be parasympathetic, the healthier you're going to be in the long run. Now, you do
Mm-hmm.
need to have some sympathetic activity. You do need to have some energizing things. The sympathetic nervous system gets your butt out of bed in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing in the morning, you get a surge of sympathetic activity, usually around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. If you've ever experienced where you get up, you just naturally get up at 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, that's because your body, you just had a surge of sympathetic nervous system activity. So I don't mean, it's not as simple as parasympathetic good, sympathetic bad, but over sympathetic nervous system overdrive is responsible for a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you could do to keep your body parasympathetic most of the time is going to be in your benefit. That's why slow, deep breathing is so important. Slow, deep rhythmic breathing puts you in a parasympathetic mode. Hot baths put you in a parasympathetic mode. Meditation and relaxation and massage put you in a parasympathetic mode. Smiling will put you in a parasympathetic mode.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you could do to put your body in a parasympathetic mode is going to be in your interest. Well, melatonin
Mm-hmm.
is the quintessential parasympathetic nervous system biomolecule in the body. It's associated with parasympathetic nervous system functioning. That's why melatonin is used for sleep. It relaxes you. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system so you can relax.
Mm-hmm.
Melatonin activates the immune system, and the immune system supports the immune system, we'll say. And the immune system is also associated with parasympathetic nervous system functioning. Melatonin's anti-inflammatory calming down benefits are also relevant to the skin.
Mm-hmm.
The skin is very, very responsive to sympathetic nervous system activity and parasympathetic nervous system activity. So all those things that we just talked about for activating the parasympathetic nervous system, breathing, hot baths, smiling, relaxation strategies, massage, those are great for your eczema. Those are great for your psoriasis. Those are great for your acne. Those are great for your oily skin, all of which can be caused by sympathetic nervous system overdrive. Melatonin supports skin parasympathetic nervous system activity, which makes it anti-inflammatory for the skin for people who are dealing with eczema and psoriasis. It calms down sebum production for people who are dealing with excessive acne. It improves wound healing. Melatonin gets its name melatonin because it helps quiet down pigment. So it has skin lightening properties. Melatonin means toning the melanin system. So it has anti-pigmentation properties. So it will even out skin tone. It will support an even skin tone. It's even been used to treat melanoma, which is a hyperactivity. It's a hyperactivity of the melanocytes. In fact, Melatonin is anti-cancer in general. It has anti-tumor properties. It has DNA repair properties. It supports the growth of skin cells if you have a burn or if you have some kind of trauma or abrasion to the skin. It has, what else is it? What else? Oh, check this out. Hair follicles use melatonin. So it may support hair growth as well for people who have problems with their hair, losing their hair. Also, it has anti-redness properties. So after a peel, or if you have erythema after from some irritation, or if you have rosacea, which is a redness issue. So it has so many wonderful properties, wonderful properties for the skin, and also it's an antioxidant. It's one of the best antioxidants you could ever use, and it's lipophilic. It's fatty. It's incredibly lipophilic, so it can penetrate through the surface of the skin, and it can be used as a topical ingredient. All those things I just told you about are for when you take it orally, but because it's so lipophilic, it's so fat soluble, it's an ideal skin ingredient because all of those benefits can be utilized topically as well as internally. And for, when you hear about it, you wonder, why isn't everybody using topical melatonin, right? Well, you will be hearing more and more about it. We're on the cutting edge. You know, a lot of the ingredients. I started working with topical vitamin C in the early 1990s, and people were like, "Why are you using vitamin C on the skin? That's the weirdest thing ever." Now everybody uses vitamin. Now everybody knows about vitamin C. So we're on the cutting edge, and it's simply because I love the body. I'm not a skincare professional. I'm a healthcare professional.
Right.
And I'm looking to the entire body to see how the body works. And if melatonin, in my brain, I thought if melatonin is working for all of these functions in the body, and it's so fat soluble, why don't we use it on the skin and you can get those same benefits? So that's why we call that product, by the way, Dermal Defense, because melatonin functions to support defensive. It has a defensive role. It helps protect this. It helps give the skin protective benefits against the environment. And there's other ingredients, by the way, in that new product that we have. I think you're talking about the Vitamask, though, with melatonin.
I am, yeah.
You don't know about this new one.
No, but I'm all ears, so let's hear about it.
Yeah. We have a new product with melatonin. It should be coming out in January. I'll just tease it a little bit because I'm not talk too much about it. But we're calling it Dermal Defense Serum, and it's got melatonin, and it's got a high concentration of vitamin D, which is also very important for defense. And it's got something in there called fullerenes. Now, have you heard of those?
No, I haven't.
Fullerenes. I'll just tease it a little bit. Fullerenes are a really, really interesting ingredient. Fullerenes, also known as C60, because they have 60 carbons that are shaped like a soccer ball. It's the coolest molecule ever. It's got a molecular shape that's like a soccer ball with a hollow inside. And this hollow inside makes it an ideal delivery system for active ingredients. And the fact that it's got these 60 carbons all arranged symmetrically in this soccer ball fashion makes it a powerful antioxidant. So this new product that we have is going to be a vitamin blend. It's got vitamin C, D, E, K, a lot of D, melatonin, and fullerenes. And it's all on a base of squalane. Again, all the active ingredients are found in your skin, and its role is as a protective molecule. You're talking about the Vitamask. That's also that also has a blend of vitamins plus melatonin, and it's a nighttime treatment.
Right. Well, so January, I can expect this new product.
I know I shouldn't have opened my big mouth here.
Yeah, we'll be waiting.
I think January.
Cool. Well, like I said, that's what I love about what you do is that you're not like just jumping on the bandwagon of, oh, this year such and such ingredients, the 2021 ingredient. That's not what you go by. It's not like a bandwagon thing with you. It's actually what works. Right. So that's always exciting when you have new products. And
thank you for that. Thank you for understanding that. I appreciate that. That's important to me. Because there's so much baloney out there, Leah.
I know.
There's so much baloney. It's so unfair. The skin business is so mean sometimes. It's mean to people. I want people to recognize that everything that we're doing here is for their health. This isn't this isn't superficial. This isn't just cosmetic. This is health. And that's why I say I'm a healthcare professional. I'm formulating like a healthcare professional.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. And even, kind of just to touch on that subject for one more second before we circle back to the mask, and not these new, ingredients, the ingredient of the year. It's just so, it's all marketing, and it's not needed. You know, some of them aren't always needed. It's not needed for all skin types, but as soon as it's like the ingredient of the year, everybody's like, oh no, this is the only thing I want. I'm like, but that's not what your skin needs.
Right. What your skin needs is tried and true.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about what your skin needs. It's the basics. It's the foundation, the fundamentals. Yes, everybody's always looking for the latest and greatest, but the things that the skin needs, the high hyaluronic acid, the vitamin C, the retinol, the electrolytes, the melatonin, it needed it last year. It needs it this year. It needed it 100 years ago. It's going to need it 100 years in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, back to the mask really quick, because you touched on that this is really great for after microneedling, or just, you know, all skin types. Rosacea, I think that was one of the questions I saw go by. Is it good for sensitive skin?
Now,
absolutely.
Let me say about rosacea. Let me just say this about rosacea, because I get a lot of questions. I'm sure you do too about rosacea. Rosacea is not a skin issue. It's a circulatory issue. It's a blood issue. And yes, you can quiet down and vasodilate and soothe topically, but if you really want to address rosacea, you've got to address the circulatory system. And of course, that means addressing food. And everybody who has rosacea will know that there's certain foods that will trigger their rosacea. And so you got to work on, number one, on the kind of foods that you're eating, and number two, on digestive support. There's actually a bacteria that lives in the stomach that's not supposed to live in the stomach, but it is in the stomach, in the stomachs of rosacea patients, called H. pylori, and that's responsible for a lot of health problems. So the best thing you can do if you have rosacea, in fact, a lot of times, this is one of the reasons why doctors will give antibiotics, but I don't really like antibiotics. So I suggest that you make sure you're working on stomach acid. That is, putting stomach acid in your digestive system, increasing your stomach acid. You can either get hydrochloric acid drops from your doctor, or you can use apple cider vinegar, which can help lower the pH of the digestive system of the stomach. And then you can also use something called Swedish bitters or stomach bitters, and that will stimulate acid. Also using like dandelion greens or arugula or something kind of pungent before meals can help stimulate stomach acid. And also, and this is kind of relevant to what we were just talking about, if you relax before you're eating, you'll be able to secrete more stomach juices, and you'll have more digestive enzyme functions. You'll have better digestive function in general if you're relaxed. If you're spiking cortisol or stress hormone and you're in sympathetic overdrive because you're in a business meeting or you're watching the news or you have an argument with your girlfriend or your boyfriend when you're eating, or your kids, and you're under stress, you're eating really fast, that's going to suppress stomach function, make digestion of foods and assimilation of nutrients more difficult. And if you have rosacea, it's likely to trigger rosacea breakouts as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thought to relax before I eat, but I get so excited when I see food coming. So,
well, that's why you say, that's why you say grace. Gratitude and gratefulness, saying grace, is a great way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system.
I like that. Back to the mask really quick, the microneedling. One question that I always get, and we probably get this question like 2 times a week. Can you microneedle with either the 1% or 5% retinol? I'm gonna let you answer that.
That'd be intense. The 5% would be super, super intense. I mean, there's people who like intense. There's people who like chili peppers, and they'll eat them, ghost peppers and super hot stuff. So there's people who like intense. I wouldn't. The 1%. Yeah,
neither would I, but I figured I'd let you answer that question as well.
I wouldn't personally. I mean, for people who like really, really intense, just do it carefully. But I wouldn't recommend it. 1%, a little bit. That'd be a little bit safer. The 1%, 5%, I wouldn't recommend. The 1%, depending on how deep your microneedling would go, that might work. You'd have to be careful. But after you did it, use that mask for sure. Put that mask on, because you might get it might be pretty powerful.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I'd recommend the 5%.
I always say no, but I figured since you were on here, that was a question I had to ask.
Your skin looks so amazing. Your skin looks amazing. It's the lighting, I know.
Yeah, it's the lighting.
Keep in mind,
a good skin day.
Our Truth retinol gel has 25% vitamin C. So you're going to get a big old dose of vitamin C if you microneedle it as well. 25% fat soluble vitamin C.
Yeah, guys, I know I keep saying this, we'll definitely save it. I'm also posting it to YouTube, so don't worry about it if you can't stay on. We're definitely saving it. But yeah, so The next question, I think there was actually quite a few that skimmed by, but one of them that I already had written down while I find the others is it okay to use the AHA, this like right before one of the retinols, which I get a lot of retinol questions. You know how much retinol we go through here. We love selling the retinol gels.
Yeah, retinol is amazing stuff, but there's some technique that's involved. If you want to get the best benefits from our Truth Retinol Gel, you want to use some technique. You can't just slather it on. Yes, AHA exfoliator is ideal to use before any ingredients that you want to penetrate. The AHA exfoliator will support penetration of anything that follows. So yes, I would definitely recommend you use AHA exfoliator before retinol. I'd recommend you use it before anything that you want to penetrate, which is all of our Truth treatments. They're all designed to penetrate. So AHA exfoliator, number one, it will disrupt the stratum corneum a little bit, so active ingredients can penetrate a little bit better. Plus, it has the electrolytes, which will carry in other active ingredients. So yes, I definitely recommend AHA exfoliator before retinol, before Truth Transdermal C Balm, before Truth Transdermal C Serum, before any of the ingredients any of the products that contain ingredients that you want to penetrate.
Perfect. And then how does the new mask compare to the Vitamask or the Honey Mask?
Completely different.
Kind of,
Completely different. Completely different. The new mask, the electrolyte mask is a soothing electrolyte mask that comes in a sheet, so it forces active ingredients down into the skin. The Vitamask is a vitamin mask, and it will drive active ingredients as well because it's kind of a clay base, but not like the sheet mask will. And then the hyaluronic honey mask is for the stratum corneum. It's for the surface of the skin, for plumping the stratum corneum and for soothing. So they all three have different functions: plumping and soothing for the honey hyaluronic mask, delivery of vitamins, and softening and moisturizing for the Vitamask, and soothing and anti-redness and delivery of water-soluble nutrients, especially electrolytes, for the sheet mask, for the electrolyte mask.
Perfect. And last time we talked, I actually think you said you were playing around with retinaldehyde. Are you still doing that? Because that's actually one of the questions.
The problem with here's the problem with retinaldehyde that I have. Okay, it's so mild that it's next to insignificant. If you're going to use retinaldehyde, and this is why companies that put retinaldehyde in their products don't tell you how much is in there, because in order to get a high concentration of retinaldehyde, you've got the way retinaldehyde comes from the company. There's only one company that makes retinaldehyde, and they make it in a very dilute concentration, like something like 1%. So if you want to use retinaldehyde in a product and use it, say 1% of a 1%, you're at 0.1% retinaldehyde, which is like nothing. It's insignificant. So most companies that have retinaldehyde in their products, they don't tell you what's in there because they're embarrassed. I don't blame them, because it's like 0.1%, 0.2%. That's not going to do anything for your skin. That has hardly any benefits. Plus, the company that makes the retinaldehyde doesn't just make retinaldehyde. They put the retinaldehyde in other ingredients. So it's like a cocktail. It's like a retinaldehyde cocktail with things that I don't like to use. So if I'm going to use retinaldehyde, I've got to, number one, it's going to have a very, very low concentration of retinaldehyde activity, just because of the way it comes. Plus, I'm going to have to put other ingredients in there that I don't like to work with. I'm a connoisseur of ingredients. I take my ingredients very, very seriously. So if I'm going to use retinaldehyde, I have to buy it from this one company because it's the only company that has it. And I'll have to use it in such a dilute concentration that it's going to have hardly any benefit on the skin. And I'm going to have to put ingredients in my product that I don't like to have to work with. So
that's a no.
I tried. I thought about it, but retinol is so much more effective. You can put so much more retinol in there. You can work with just retinol and without other inactive ingredients. So there's really no reason for it. The thing about retinaldehyde is it's not as intense as retinol. So you can make, you can say you have retinaldehyde in your product and people won't have a problem with it. And it's a little bit more stable than retinol. But it's, I want to do something, man. I want to kick some butt on your skin. I want you to know that you use the Truth product when you use the Truth product. And so it's unlikely that I will, but I'm thinking I'm still playing with it, put it that way.
Okay. Well, good to hear. And are any of the products okay for on the lids?
Yeah, a lot of them are. I wouldn't put retinol on the lids. The omega-6 healing cream is really, really thick, and it may cause some tearing, but certainly True Transdermal C Serum, True Transdermal C Balm you can use on the lids. The Biomimetic Mineral Mist is great for crusties in the eye. Most of the products you can use around your eyes. The omega-6 healing cream and the retinols I'd be careful of.
Okay, the electrolyte mask is great for all skin types.
Yes.
And really, all of your products are great for
all of it. If you have skin, because these are all working at the level of the cell. Everybody has skin cells. If you have skin cells, then every single Truth product is appropriate for you. The one thing people will say sometimes is that Truth Transdermal C Serum or Truth Transdermal C Balm is heavy. If any of our Truth treatments feel heavy, it's because we're using too much. So it's kind of crazy how small amounts you need. It's almost, you want to put a small amount and then you want to put smaller than that. So think what you think is small and then half that. Because what we think is small usually isn't small. Yeah. So I'm talking 1 or 2 drops, and you don't have to feel product all over your skin.
You use too much.
Yes, exactly. So 1 or 2 drops, massage it in, and don't be shy about massaging products in. Women, for some reason, women are told, I don't know who's spreading this rumor, that they want to like pat or something. That's not true. You want to massage. You want to improve circulation. You want to generate electrical charges in your connective tissue, and you want to drive ingredients in. So massage really well and blend everything with your Truth Biomimetic Mineral Mist, and that will facilitate and improve penetration further.
Well, thank you so much. I know that we have like a ton more questions, so hopefully we can do this again soon. Yeah, absolutely, because this flew by. It's already been 45 minutes. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate it, and we hope you guys have a wonderful new year. And this will be available as soon as we get off, and I'll put it on YouTube this weekend. So yay.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Bye.